This is the birthplace of the world's largest chip maker, TSMC, the Industrial Technology Research Institute, or ITRI. Founded in 1973, ITRI is a government-sponsored nonprofit organization. The institute was designed to accelerate Taiwan's technological advancement and help transform the country's economy from labor-intensive low-output manufacturing to a global tech leader.
Back in the 70s, Taiwan was under a so-called planned economy.
Today I'm joined by Dr. Edwin Liu, president of the Industrial Technology Research Institute.
So I think in different stage of the Taiwan's industry economic growth, each always try to play a very important role to help the government to move the industry forward.
Today, Taiwan is known globally as a semiconductor powerhouse. Much of that reputation is thanks to ITRI, as it was the organization that first introduced the chip industry to Taiwan.
Without ITRI, Taiwan's semiconductor industry would have never developed into the giant it is today. It's pretty easy to say, well, it was the seed of that industry, but I think it was more than the seed, because what it did was it really developed and guided a steady flow of engineers coming out of the Taiwan's educational system into this industry.
TSMC, now the world leader in advanced chip making, was spun off from ITRI. TSMC founder Morris Chang once served as ITRI's head, where he received government assistance to establish the company. Without ITRI, there would be no TSMC.
When there's a group of people, once they decided that's something Taiwan wanted to invest, so we send people to US, ITRI send people to US and then get trained and come back to Taiwan and license the technology from US and then get into the semiconductor. And then during this time also kind of created a so-called OEM, the foundry business model, which is the TSMC was formed. I think all this process, we understand the government policy. At the same time, we help government to send the technical people, then the technologies, spin out the business. I think that's how it works. And as I mentioned earlier, it's partially funded by the government. So we have to still work with the industry, working with the partners in the industry. So I think that's a very beautiful setup.
The scope of ITRI's research is vast. It not only develops high-tech components like semiconductors and computers, but it also does communications equipment, composite materials like carbon fiber for bike frames, sporting equipment, and luggage bags, as well as textiles. And it's even dabbled in things like engines that go into automobiles.
The giant, the bicycle, the carbon fiber, the bicycle, that's also from ITRI.
The list goes on. ITRI also works on biomedical, energy, green, and robot technologies.
We focus on the problem. So there's a problem need to be solved, and then we try to deal with that problem. And that problem need to be solved by multiple technical disciplinary. That's possible. You try to make the hospital become a smart hospital. You need some doctor, some medical knowledge. You need to have ICT technology, monitoring, sensor, everything. So it's not one single domain. So if you are talking about, you mentioned we do a lot of things, but those things all together is to solve the industry problem, to solve our society problem.
One of ITRI's main missions now is to service Taiwan's many industries. Whenever companies run into technical or operational problems, they can turn to ITRI for help. If ITRI doesn't have a solution handy, the institute can help research ways to get around issues so that Taiwan's enterprises have an easier time doing business.
For the small and medium-sized industry, they particularly need our help because they don't do a longer-term research, but they may have some problem need to be solved.
For example, as global companies make a push to become more eco-friendly, ITRI has helped Taiwan's companies meet sustainability targets so that they can continue working with their international partners.
The purpose is just partially sponsored by the government, but we do ITRI does the research to help the Taiwan's industry to grow. When I just got back here in 2018, I was joking. we couldn't find this in US. There is no such things, such setup in US, kind of bridge the academia and the industry.
The science that takes place here has been a driver for Taiwan's economy and industry over the past half-century, and the institute hopes to sustain Taiwan's innovative prowess well into the future.
I keep telling my people, don't expect that today's technology is going to solve the future problems. Taking this 2050's net zero as an example, people try to see, can we reach a 2050 net zero target? No, we cannot, very challenging. Come on, there's still have 20-something years to go, right? You shouldn't expect nothing will happen between now and then. There will be some technology to help you solve the problem.